Devices. So these are brain sensors that are starting to be embedded in everyday devices, but until now have been a number of niche companies that really have focused on mindfulness and meditation. The use of, for example, brain sensors that can pick up electrical activity in the brain at a pretty low resolution, but advances in AI have both improved what the signal is that can come from the brain and enabled the miniaturization of those products. As a lot of the major tech companies start to invest in these brain sensors, it's a huge, I think, untapped market in many ways of integrating them into everyday devices. These are earbuds or watches or headphones and the soft cups around the ears. Many of those products are hitting the market this year, and others are hitting them within the next 2 years, such that people can listen to music, a phone call, etc., while having those devices in ears. Initially, what they will be capable of doing is very high-level brain state reading. Things like, are you tired? Are you paying attention? Is your mind wandering? Are you happy or sad? They maybe enable interaction like up, down, left, right for interaction with other technologies. And they're being embedded into things like virtual reality headsets.
This is part 3 of the article, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Godmother of Transhumanism and Synthetic Spirituality. Transhumanism at the Esalen Institute, the human potential of hacking consciousness. The Esalen Institute, which was bolstered by Maslow's Obsidian network and endorsed by Hubbard in her Birth 2012 and beyond, is best known as a New Age self-actualization retreat led by a host of Eastern mystics, gurus, and hippie psychedelics enthusiasts who have propelled the human potential movement. However, Esalen has also been a hub for behavioral psychologists such as B.F. Skinner, humanistic psychologists such as Abraham Maslow, and transhumanist computer engineers such as Mikey Siegel, who have been driving a transhuman potential movement aimed at steering the noetic evolution of the human species through trans-eugenic technologies such as consciousness hacking, brain-computer interfaces. This year, in 2022, there will be an Esalen workshop titled Superhuman Evolution, which will explore evolutionary esotericism by examining the intersections across technology, psychedelics, Darwinian transformations, and metaphysical revelation that might point to or even manifest the future human or superhuman. It should be noted here that Darwinism was a predecessor of eugenics, which itself is the precursor to transhumanism. Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton, conceptualized eugenics as the science of harnessing Darwinian evolution by selectively breeding elite bloodlines while culling unfit gene pools. Later in 1957, British Eugenics Society President Julian Huxley, who was a close friend of fellow eugenicist Teilhard de Chardin, coined the term transhuman to denote the next phase of eugenics, in which the old school methods of artificial genetic selection will take a backseat to biological engineering through human-machine mergers. Julian's brother, Aldous Huxley, who authored the dystopic novel Brave New World, coined the term human potential, and he energized the human potential movement as a trendsetter at the Esalen Institute, where Hubbard's mentors, Abraham Maslow and Buckminster Fuller, were both leading figures. There have always been integral connections between the Esalen Institute, the human potential movement, high-tech transhumanism, and noetic Gnosticism. In 2013, H Plus magazine, otherwise known as Humanity Plus magazine, which is the popular publication of the organization formerly known as World Transhumanist Association, posted an article titled producing and consuming the post-human body in superhero narratives. This H Plus article historicizes how, and here's their mission. I'll read it. Humanity Plus, what we do. What does it mean to be human in a technologically enhanced world? Humanity Plus, also known as World Transhumanist Association, is a 501c3 international nonprofit membership organization that advocates the ethical use of technology such as artificial intelligence to expand human capacities. In other words, we want people to be better than well. This is the goal of transhumanism. Several scholars have linked the superhero narrative with the emergence of a human potential movement, which became popular in the 1960s in places such as the Esalen Institute. The philosophy of the cosmic posthuman was put into practice, with the intention of unlocking latent abilities. In his weighty tome, The Future of the Body, Explorations into the Further Evolution of Human Nature, Esalen co-founder Michael Murphy examines evidence of meta-normal human functioning. Like the human potential movement, transhumanism is also the offspring of the 60s counterculture. At the same time, this article also links Esalen's transhuman potential movement to a theological or Gnostic narrative. In a section titled Silver Age Superheroes and the Emergence of Transhumanism, this H Plus article explicates how transhumanism, in some forms, presents a world in which science and magic are conflated. Pause. A world in which science and magic are conflated through the spread of numerous hybrid spiritual or religious movements variously dubbed techno-paganism or cyber shamanism, which reconfigure shamans as low-tech cyborgs. Here's their little symbol magazine logo. Another H Plus magazine article, which was published in 2014, explores the ways in which the Human Potential Movement and the Neuro-Singularity Project dovetail together through intersections between genetics, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, psychedelics, and a range of psychotechnologies. Yeah, psycho is what it is. Psychotechnologies that coalesce in transhumanist evolution. Entitled Mind Apps and the Neurosingularity Project, this article details how, among current tributaries to the Neurosingularity Project are 1. Multi-state theory, 2. Transhumanism, 3. Psychedelics, and 4. The Human Potential Movement. More specifically, in a section titled The Human Potential Movement in Positive Psychology, this article expounds how multi-state theory, psychedelics, transhumanism, transpersonal psychology, and the human potential movement can all contribute to their mutual fulfillment and to the Neurosingularity Project, with the HPM, Human Potential Movement, being a precursor of transhumanism. Additionally, this article postulates how, instead of using only electronic information technology or biology hybridized with IT to augment human intelligence, milestones in genetics are advancing us down the path toward producing better human brains and other extropic and human potential goals. In sum, H Plus articles propound how high-tech transhumanism is an outgrowth of the human potential movement that was spearheaded by the Esalen Institute, which was part of Maslow's Eupsychian network, where Hubbard cavorted with other Gnostic trans-eugenists to advance the noetic evolution of the human species through human-computer interfaces that can hack consciousness. Pause. I'm just going to say, I thought of this just now. When they talk about hacking consciousness, to me, it kind of seems to me like you're channeling, but you're not doing it voluntarily. Maybe that there's something getting into your consciousness, into your mind, but people won't think of it as channeling. But I think that's what it's opening yourself up to. That's just me. I'm sorry. Unpause. More recently, in 2018, Esalen hosted a consciousness hacking workshop run by Mikey Siegel, a transhumanist computer engineer who has developed intelligent robotics and social robotics at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT Media Lab, respectively. On the Esalen website, Siegel's biography states that he uses technology to facilitate a path toward higher consciousness, self-realization, awakening, and transcendence. To industrialize transhumanist consciousness hacking into a global corporate enterprise. Siegel, according to Wired magazine, helped found the Transformative Technology Conference, which convenes a mixer for technologists, futurists, entrepreneurs, and venture capitalists trying to turn consciousness hacking into a multi-billion-dollar business on par with the fitness industry. Here's Mikey. Mikey Siegel is excited by science and technology supporting human flourishing and collective awakening. He teaches at Stanford University, of course, and is the founder of Consciousness Hacking Biofluent Technologies and the Transformative Technology Conference. He received an MS from the MIT Media Lab. Kickstarting the consciousness hacking industry during the year before his Esalen workshop, Siegel conducted an experiment titled 1,000 Minds Connected Live, which hooked people up to cognition headbands that recorded their electroencephalogram. I think I said that right. Electroencephalogram, EEG brainwaves, while they all watched a movie called Mind Gamers. By concurrently data mining the electrical brain activity of this massive audience, Siegel aimed to digitally record the first image of a mass-connected mind. Commenting on the experiment, Siegel hyped how a result of such brain-computer interfaces, we are actually changing as a species. This is actually changing the landscape of human culture. We're profoundly different than what we were 20 or 30 years ago. This is so creepy and so sick. Assisting Siegel with the 1,000 Minds experiment was Tim Mullen. According to The Wrap, Mullen is the CEO of Quasp Labs, a neurotechnology firm, and has developed wearable brain-computer interface, BCI technology, similar to what's being used in these 1,000 Minds EEG headbands. Elaborating on the experiment, Mullen laid out the overarching vision that in the future we will have the ability to link the nervous system of humans. The groundwork for that is being laid right now. It's accelerating so fast, it's really possible to imagine that in one generation we might see that fundamental link established. Wow. Okay. Talk about the Tower of Babel. I mean, this is crazy. This is what they want to do. Link everyone's minds all together. In brief, these brainwave hacking wearables designed by Siegel and Mullen are building the next noospheric layer of transhumanity's cybernetic nervous system, which, according to Hubbard, has consciously evolved from internet IT infrastructure into online social media networks that can now be augmented through collective webs of biofeedback neurotech. From Mikey Siegel's transformative technology conferences back to Michael Murphy's Esalen Institute, all the way back to Abraham Maslow's Upsikian Network, there are branches of transhumanist psychology, neurotechnology, and human potentializing spirituality that share common roots in Barbara Marx Hubbard's noetic prophecies of collective conscious evolution through global cybernetics. From human potential to social potential, the globalization of neurofeedback transhumanism. To mind meld global human consciousness through brain-computer neurotech, Hubbard evolved the human potential movement into the social potential movement, which she used to promote the HeartMath Institute. The nonprofit HMI is a synergistic satellite of the nonprofit HeartMath Inc. corporation that carries out multi-level marketing schemes to sell biofeedback wearables, such as EM Wave and Inner Balance, which are similar to the EEG headbands designed by Siegel, programmed to socially synchronize an individual's heart coherence with the global community by uploading users' electrocardiogram ECG analytics to online cloud databases. HeartMath's biofeedback technologies are being propagated across the planet through HMI's Global Coherence Initiative in order to harmonize the world's ECG wavelengths into a singular hive mind resonance. In pursuit of his consciousness hacking venture, Siegel has also engineered a collective biofeedback wearable called HeartSync, which he piloted at a Burning Man festival. The transhumanist HeartSync headsets can interlink as many as 24 people to a single computer in order to synchronize the group's breathing and heartbeats. At Siegel's Co-Hack House, his consciousness hacking meetup group, which has hosted at least 15,000 members in at least 30 communities, attendees engage in collective meditation while wearing HeartSync headgear hooked up to a computer. On project nights at Siegel's Co-Hack House, startup founders pitch their prototypes, such as the Lucid Catcher, a sleep band that stimulates your brain with small electrical pulses, supposedly letting you control your dreams. According to Siegel's business partner, Josh Whiten, who is a personal friend of Elon Musk and Tony Robbins, HeartSync can be used to have a board meeting and you hook up everyone to a headband and a heart rate sensor to get into a state of coherence. You get people out of their ego states and into a group state, thinking as one. Other applications of HeartSync, along with other AI biofeedback devices, neurotech brain stimulators, and immersive VR, virtual reality, include psychotherapeutic and psychedelic consciousness hacks that can digitally induce mindfulness and enlightenment. So disturbing. Siegel's HeartSync neurotech is similar to the EM Wave and Inner Balance biofeedback wearables that are sold through the HeartMath Institute, which is endorsed by Hubbard in her birth 2012 and beyond. In this book, Hubbard lists the Institute of HeartMath as a Birth 2012 campaign sponsor, along with the World Business Academy and the Global Coherence Initiative, which is a satellite of the HeartMath Institute. In addition to these Birth 2012 campaign sponsors, Hubbard cataloged a directory of Shift Network allies, including the Esalen Institute and the Institute of Noetic Sciences, where Siegel has served as an advisor to the IONS Innovation Lab. Siegel and his Biofluent Technologies Corporation, which is the company that produces HeartSync biofeedback wearables, are also profiled on the list of industry partners and advisors. At the Transformative Technology Lab, TTL, where HeartMath President and CEO Deborah Rosman, whom Hubbard names as an ally of the Birth 2012 campaign, is also profiled on list of Transformative Technology Lab, industry partners, and advisors. They look so nice and normal, don't they? Along with Rosman, there are several other GCI steering committee and advisory board members whom Hubbard endorsed as allies of the Birth 2012 campaign. You can pause here. These are a list of names and their different companies and different government positions. I'm just going to slowly go past it. Also serving on the GCI Scientific Advisory Board is Roger Nelson, who is founder and director of the Global Consciousness Project and was the longtime coordinator of research at the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research PAIR laboratory at Princeton University, which was financed by Hubbard's benefactor, Lawrence Rockefeller. In addition, Nelson is a member of the Esalen Institute Center for Theory and Research. Towards the end of Birth 2012 and beyond, Hubbard anthologized a chapter by Claudia Wells, who is another steering committee member of HeartMath's Global Coherence Initiative, a board member of Hubbard's Foundation for Conscious Evolution, and a member of the extended research facility of the Institute for Noetic Sciences, and Claudia Wells's Birth 2012 and Beyond chapter, which is titled Energizing Social Synergy for the Shift. She details how HeartMath's biofeedback wearables can be implemented to globally synchronize the EKG heart coherence rhythms of individuals and communities across the planet in order to artificially stimulate a worldwide shift in evolutionary consciousness. Did you hear that? To stimulate a worldwide shift, artificially stimulate a worldwide shift in evolutionary consciousness. This is where I feel like people need to be willing to get away from any of this before they end up getting their consciousnesses shifted involuntarily. Defining heart coherence, Wells describes it as a measurable psychophysiological state that can be quantified with biofeedback measurements. According to Wells, HeartMath has demonstrated that we can intentionally change our heart signal pattern to a coherent waveform in which heart-brain alignment is created, causing a favorable cascade of neural, hormonal, and biochemical changes as systems synchronize and connect, facilitating system-wide communication in a section titled Scaling Heart Coherence for Social Synergy. Wells elaborates how research at HeartMath has confirmed that a person's heart-coherent electromagnetic signals can be detected in the nervous system of other people as well as in animals. Heart coherence thus appears to enliven our connections through resonance, not only with each other and with nature, but conceivably with the mind of the cosmos or noosphere, enabling the parts to be in communication with the whole. Enliven our connections through resonance with the mind of the cosmos. To harmonize the heart coherence, waves of global communities with collective consciousness of the noosphere, Wells calls for the worldwide coordination of HeartMath biofeedback synchronization through the Global Coherence Initiative, a project of HeartMath, which is based on the belief that heart coherence scales from the personal to the social to the planetary. If heart coherence does indeed scale, our attempts at social synergy would benefit on all levels. Citing the evolutionary theories of John Baptiste Lamarck, who was the godfather of epigenetic theory. Wells posits how the Global Coherence Initiative estimates that 350,000 people measurably increasing their heart coherence baselines may be enough to create a global coherence heart field environment through the sustained repetition of this new behavior by a critical mass of individuals. By intentionally generating this field of global coherence for the shift, we may emerge as a positive, conscious, evolutionary force. In a separate chapter titled A Map to Cross the Gap, Hubbard herself calls for heart coherence synchronization of 350,000 wearers of HeartMath biofeedback devices by practicing quick coherence and heart lock-in, which are HeartMath trademarked mindfulness techniques, through a special group setting online. This online biofeedback collaboration is known as the Global Birthing Care Room, a project of the Institute of HeartMath's Global Coherence Initiative, which provides a digital representation of practitioners, portraying them as points of light across the globe. In sum, the HeartMath Institute has commissioned a transhumanist network of wearable global coherence apps to interlink brainwaves and heart rhythms across the planet in order to shift the collective consciousness of the human species into a one-world social potential movement that is synchronized with the cosmic evolution of the noosphere through the cybernetic nervous system of internet social media. In turn, these transhumanist neurofeedback wearables are in position to biorhythmically induce synthetic states of bliss that will psychologically condition global populations to happily comply with the corporate communitarian mandates of the techno-fascist Fourth Industrial Revolution. Wow, that is the end of this part. The next part is evolutionary entrepreneurship, corporate technocracy, and the transhuman singularity. Well, this is very interesting and quite disturbing. Kind of seeing the technological way that some of these things are being done to achieve what are very new age and occult goals of oneness. And the idea that the only evil in the world or sin is to be separate. and not part of, where it's so much oneness that you're linking your brains and your hearts together through technology all around the world.
Run.
There's just one name that can keep you out of hell, and it's the name of Jesus. The name of Jesus. The name of Jesus.